by piece. A vibrant but unconventional music docu-biopic journey through the life of Pharrell Williams told through the lens of Lego animation.
You know what'd be cool is if we told my story with Lego pieces.
Seriously?
Yes.
Lego.
Just be open.
This is definitely a documentary told through Lego animation. You got to keep that in mind. And I'm not sure still why they chose to do that.
Why?
There's a quick line in the movie that Pharrell says about life is sort of like, you know, Lego, where it's putting a bunch of pieces together and things together to create something. And I get that, but that's the reason you did a Lego movie about your life? Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I just wasn't really that into it, and I love Lego. But yeah, it was a strange choice. And it honestly, it feels a little bit like Pharrell being like, well, I'm not like all those other music artists, so I'm not going to do a regular documentary, you know, music series about my life. We're going to do it with Lego to be different. Cool. I like that. And I respect when people are trying to do something different and wild and out there. That's not the problem. The problem is that I don't know if it necessarily paid off because I don't know who this movie's for. Not really made for kids, even though it's a PG, you know, rated film and it's told in the style of like a kid's movie, but it's really not. As a child, before I was like 12 or 13, I wouldn't like this movie. I would just be like, yeah, the music's cool and fun and there's some cool images, but even the images in this movie aren't that great. But I just don't know if it's really necessarily made for kids. But then also, it's not really made for legit diehard Pharrell Williams fans. I think it's not that interesting ultimately, and they don't reveal very much about Pharrell in this movie, more than kind of what we already know about him as a public figure. There is definitely a cloak or a wall that he's put up that he's not revealing everything, and this movie definitely shows that. Like, there's for sure some hustling and some drugs and some partying and stuff like that, but they throw that away and under the rug for this movie, and I just don't know if this is the right medium to tell this story. And ultimately, it was a cool experiment, but I think it's one that kind of failed in the end. Now, there are some really cool parts where it was exciting to have it as, you know, Lego, like the concert scenes, the way that they visualize like Pharrell's imagination and things like that, and the beats that he creates and mixes and the lights and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, that's really cool. But if it wasn't for the Lego aspect of this movie actually wouldn't be that great. Like, it'd be quite dull and boring. There isn't a lot that happens, and you know, at a certain point, Pharrell is so successful from all the beats and artists and people that he's worked with. He had sort of a couple of years that didn't go so great for his music industry, for his career, but he was making so much money anyways. It's hard to feel bad for him. It's hard to get invested fully with him. And also that includes because it's a Lego movie. Like, you don't get that human emotion attachment to a character because it's an animation. And because it's sort of satirical in a way, the tone is all over the place. It is funny at times, but then considering it's a Lego movie, they could have done so much more comedic things with this. They could have really, you know, done some funny, interesting, cool stuff with the Lego design, and they just chose not to. And I want to say that the animation to this movie is great and beautiful and exciting and vibrant, yet it's kind of not. Like, it's fine.
What fine stands for, don't you? Freaked out,
Insecure.
neurotic,
And emotional.
good.
But it's not better than like The Wild Robot, Transformers 1, Inside Out 2, and a bunch of other animated movies that came out this year that I just felt did a way better job with the animation. And I feel that's how this movie came across to me, a very messy experiment. I just wasn't sure who this movie was made for in the end. I think that's what really bothered me about this flick. The ending to this movie is pretty crappy, and the last like 25-30 minutes I found a little boring, and that's because the subject matter, there's not much there. Like, Pharrell doesn't really give much more after about the hour mark of this film. The last third of this movie just drags. It feels like almost a 2-hour movie, even though it's only an hour and 33 minutes. Like, it shouldn't feel as long as it does. The music in this movie, though, is awesome. I really enjoyed the music and the beats of this film. Obviously, original songs are being composed by Pharrell Williams, and just some of the flashbacks and nostalgia that this movie gives you, like some of the big songs that he has helped develop and been a part of, is absolutely mind-boggling.
Or am I so sane that you just blew your mind?
And when those songs are played throughout the movie, I can't help but smile and dance and have a good time. So this movie is for sure entertaining, and it is a good time. It's a fun ride. It just ultimately, it feels kind of empty and flat-footed in its sort of execution of what it's trying to say and who this movie is really for, and the tone it's trying to nail down is just definitely a bit off in this movie.
It's a bit nutty.
Please make sure you click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, comment down below, what did you think of Piece by Piece? Are you a lover of this idea and how this movie was portrayed, or did you think it was only kind of weird that they turned it into a Lego movie? Are you a fan of Pharrell Williams? Let me know what you thought of this Lego movie with your thoughts and comments down below. I don't know if I would necessarily rewatch this movie again. This movie didn't quite build its way up to an all-time class movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Piece by Piece a B-. Thank you so much for checking out Mr. T's Film Preach. Come back and check out some other video reviews such as Saturday Night, The Substance, and the double feature of Speak No Evil and Never Let Go. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you on the next film.